Mic check, mic check. Yo, 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 good people, what's good, what's good? CloneX LA, what's good? Let me hear some noise out there. Let's go! Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna get this thing going. It's supposed to start at 6, so for sure. As you know, I am Dre Mill. You know what I mean? Let me get some. Nobody knows. Y'all my people. I know all of y'all out there. So yeah, Dre Mill, co-creator of CloneX LA, curator of vibes, co-host of Bad Take on Twitter Spaces with my man Compound right there. Clap it up for my man Compound. Just wanted to get together and have something for the community, something that you guys could appreciate. We could speak about Web3, IP, and within Web3, we got some legends here with us. So I just want to get it started and introduce the people and get it cracking. So first up, we got to give it up to the co-founder of this thing here, Chris Lee, co-founder of RTFKT. Everything we're doing here with CloneX LA, everything we're doing with CloneX. Appreciate you guys. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, Bobby Hundreds, who needs not to be explained. You already know who he is and how he gets down. And we want to get this thing going. Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for taking the time to come out and have this discussion with us, man. It means the world to us. It means the world to the community. I know you guys are extremely busy, traveling, family, all of the things, all of the above. I heard that the homie Bobby was doing his audiobook recording, and he paused that for us. So can we get some love for that?
Yes.
Had to get him out here.
Thank you for having us.
No, for sure.
Thank you.
If you guys wanted to go ahead and introduce yourself again and let them know how you get down and what's on your next plans and all of the above, I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, you should start.
Okay, yeah. I have been recording my audiobook all week because my next book, it's called NFTs Are a Scam / NFTs Are the Future, is dropping in May. And I always read my own audiobook. So if you want to listen to it, you can do it that way. I really need everyone to pre-order it before it comes out because that goes towards book sales and it's just a better look. So do me a solid. I'm really here because Jace asked me to come.
Hey.
And
shout out to the homie Jace, bro.
And I can't say no to Jace. He's just really such a core community guy. And Adam Bomb Squad, he's just been super helpful all the way through. So I was just like, dude, of course I'll be able to make it for you. And then I found out that this fella was gonna be here, and I was like, I can't miss this because I don't feel like we ever get to be in the same room. So
only one other time. It was VCon.
Oh, VCon.
Yep.
Yeah, we were at Steve Aoki's concert, and I looked over and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" It was insane. It was like a zillion people like moshing to Steve Aoki, and it was us just sitting there watching.
That's what's up. We definitely appreciate that, man. Thank you very much for taking the time. Shout out to the homie Jace. He couldn't make it. Actually doing this thing over and across the world. I don't want to give too much of his his exposure, but we definitely appreciate him here with CloneX LA.
If you guys don't know me, I'm Chris Lee, or AKA Clegg Effects, one of the co-founders of RTFKT and creative director. This is so great to see the community putting stuff like this together. It's really mind-boggling because when we started the brand, I never knew that it would lead all the way to something where communities are actually really coming together to create really dope experiences for others. And, as a kid, I used to throw little parties here and there, but try to make these experiences really dope. So I feel especially what you're doing here with CloneX LA, like that excitement of curating an experience, putting cool lights up, etc. So like big props. This is really, really cool. Funny enough, unfortunately, I didn't know this was going on. So I'm being really honest. I flew out here to LA to do some secret artifact stuff. And then Dre hit me up. Yep. And then funny enough, like I had another friend too that was like, hey, come to LA, let's link up. It's like everybody sensed I was gonna be here or something. And I was like, okay, the universe wanted me to be here, so let's make it happen. I was supposed to fly out yesterday and I pushed my flight to Saturday just to make sure I come out and see you guys. So
clap it up for that. We appreciate that for sure. Man, it means the world to us. We thank you both again. We appreciate it. Most definitely grateful for everything. All right, so we're going to start off with some questions that we received from the community. I just want to run it by you guys and see what you guys are thinking. So when it comes to building and collabing with legacy brands, legacy IP brands like Nike, Pokemon, etc., how is that for you, and how did that come about?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a very complex question because there's so many levels to how you define partnerships, collaborations, license projects. And then in your case, you have a completely different arrangement with Nike that most brands will never have access to. So that's actually really special. In fact, did you watch the Air movie yet? The Jordan movie?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
It's really interesting. I'm like the whole time I was thinking of you guys, and essentially, and I wrote about it in my Substack this morning, but the takeaway message of that film is really about the community and the artists and the athletes for Nike participating in the upside, right? And that was a revolutionary shoe deal that happened with Jordan and Viola Davis's character, Dolores Jordan, Michael Jordan's mom, who convinced Nike to do that. And they were just so ahead of their time, but I feel like watching the artifact journey, there's so many parallels, but also it could only happen through a company like Nike to understand why it's important for the athlete to also participate and benefit from Nike's success. So anyways, I totally got sidetracked. I don't remember the question, but yeah, I don't know if that answers.
About creating IPs and
Yeah.
Brands working with legacy.
I think one important thing about creating an IP is to be a fan of all your previous things you were a fan of it when you were a kid. So Artifact basically encapsulates us three co-founders and our geekiness fandom of anime culture. I was a huge Pokemon card collector. I still have my collection till this day. My dad tried to tell me to throw them away. It wouldn't be big, but I proved him wrong. Right. Zaptio is like into Yu-Gi-Oh, Benoit, Magic the Gathering. And because we come from different age groups, but we shared a common interest in like collectibles and stuff, I felt like that's what drove our passion to creating Artifacts. If you notice, everything we do is just something based off of something we were fans of. So when you're a fan, like being a fan is like probably one of the most important things to any IP, and it teaches you a lot. Especially how to be a creator. Like I'm sure a lot of kids who played Pokemon, like they grew up to do something great that was probably inspired by something that sparked them when playing Pokemon.
How many of you collected Pokemon cards or sports cards or Magic or anything like that?
We all geeks and nerds around here.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And that's what I always say. I'm a glorified geek and nerd, man. I loved all of those things. Heavy into Marvel cards. Mm-hmm. My mom actually convinced me to throw them away. I'm never let go of that. I'm extremely bitter about it, but we won't talk about it. I don't need to talk about anything.
I had Pogs too. Like I had a huge Pogs phase. Slammers. God.
What's the secondary market on Pogs these days?
That's a great
Not too well. I looked into it actually.
I don't feel like they were branded very well.
No, they were kind of terrible. The marketing wasn't really that
good.
No, for sure. But thank you.
But actually, I've seen, when I went to go do research on them again, it's just, I go down these deep rabbit holes.
Yeah.
There are people who collect them still, and they have these Pog books, like trading card books. Yeah. And I didn't remember having those because when you were a Pog collector, you had the tubes that you stuck them in.
Yeah.
But they have those trading card books that are meant for the discs that go inside.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's
still subculture.
That's crazy. All right, cool.
I did like that tangent. I feel like we could talk about Pogs for the next hour.
All night, bro. We could do this all night.
Or Pokemon.
Okay, let me ask you this. Good question with this one. How do you guys keep your brand relevant without losing its core identity? We see what's happening in the Web3 space. We see a lot of people jumping in. We see the quote-unquote blue chips and how they're doing their thing and what's it evolving into. Mm-hmm. Would like to know how you guys think and feel about that.
That was one of the first questions. One of the first speaking engagements I did was at UCLA, actually, almost 20 years ago, like 17 years ago. And, we had a crowd like this, and someone stood up in the back in the Q&A, and he asked, how do you expect to stay relevant in 10 years or 20 years from now, which is literally like the point I'm at now. Crazy. And my answer today is going to be the same as it was then, which is just being honest and communicative and transparent about who we are, what we're into, and making sure that we're reinforcing those ideals and values in the art that we continue to make. And so to Chris's point, when we do collaborations, and I didn't get to finish that answer earlier, sorry about that. But it's the same thing, you know, when we're seeking out different IP to collaborate with, different projects that we're talking to artists, we have to make sure that they align with our narrative and our DNA, and that they are sincerely us, because it can be pretty telling. I think people are sophisticated and sensitive enough as consumers these days to know when a collaboration is misaligned or if it's just a cash grab, right? Like, you're all pretty savvy as consumers now to read that. And and I feel like whenever you're doing a collaboration, it's gonna either be additive or it's gonna erode. You know, every decision you make as a brand either helps and benefits or it takes away. You know, from the choices of colors that you use to the collaborative partners you choose to work with. And so everything has to be really intentional. This project, UCLA, is our next one, and we did this because of the story of we got kicked off of the UCLA campus because we were banned from all UC campuses because we were vandalizing with the Hundreds propaganda. And now we're working with them. And also Ben went to college there. And so we wanted to tell that story full circle. But I think just being honest and true to us and making sure that even if it's not making money, or even if it's not a lot of money, in the long run, it's more meaningful to the brand if it really has something to say about us.
No, that's a very good point. Some of you, I don't know if all of you guys know, we're very strict with collabs at Artifact, and it's mainly Benoit holding the iron fist, like no, yes, no. But it's you basically can't be opportunistic at all. It has to be very strategic, and it goes to the core of, are you a fan of that brand you want to collaborate with? I've seen too many projects do just random collabs just because the opportunity was there, especially when Web3 is starting to blow up. Every movie studio, magazine, was all coming in. It's all these like Web3 brands are like, okay, let's do this one. Oh, that's a big brand. I've heard of this brand. Let's see. This is what started to oversaturate the market, I feel like. If people really stood back and really breathed for a bit before picking collaboration, I don't feel like it would have been oversaturated like this. And then, for longevity of the brand, don't stay too comfortable at all. Always try to be inspired and look at the youth and what they're doing. And that's what we do all the time. We're always looking at the youth. Like, for example, when we did the space trips, we had a few really young artists in there. Because, you know, as we get older, we're not going to know what the new hottest trend is. And you have to, like, check your ego, make sure you know that. You're never going to be the best. Always look out for the next ones.
Shout out to the homegirl Zwisty. We had her come down to Art Basel as well. They was coming through showcasing their space trips and everything she's doing. So yeah, for sure. Excellent answer for sure.
Thank you.
We see now what happened with all those brands just jumping in and trying to make a quick buck. And now in 2023, the SEC is on that ass, and everything is happening with that. So we gotta count our blessings that the way that you guys are executing and how y'all keep it going.
That's a
Thank
tweet.
Sure. Yo, it's a real one. I keep it real. You know what I mean? But no, that's what's up. So, another question: how has Web3 changed the opportunities for brand building?
Oh, wow. This is fresh on my mind just because I was reading it aloud as I was reading my book. And it's obvious. It's, you know, for the longest time, I was out there preaching about building brands around communities. And Web3, you're seeing communities building the brands, right? You're in the driver's seat and also lending to the narrative. Your voice is actually being incorporated into the fabric of what the brand's legacy becomes. And this is something that for many of us from traditional brand building and who've just been around for too long at this point, we've always dreamt about. You know, it's something that we idealized, you know, this idea of a community-centered brand. But what if it becomes community-led? And now we can actually do that through blockchain tech and through Web3, and just the philosophy and the ideology around it. And it's interesting because I'm going to bring it back to that Nike movie. Even when I was watching that film, I was just like, wow, this is really, movie is not so much about a sneaker, it's about this new movement. It's just a new attitude towards how people are building businesses. And then I looked into Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. That's their first film under their new production company. If you look into what they're doing, it's called the Artist Equity or Artist Equality or something. That's the name of their production company. And the entire premise is to give back and include the directors, the filmmakers that they work with in the actual budgeting, and also to make sure that they get compensated and participate. And those are Web3 ideals, even if it's not on blockchain tech. So I think this is just the future of branding. It's almost like been broken, and now everyone is pursuing some type of model like this. It's going to change the language, it's going to change the aesthetic, but will really repair that imbalance that we've seen for so long between brand and consumer.
It's inevitable. 100%.
Yeah, you actually hit a very, very great point. Just like Air has, you look through what Air was doing, what Ben Affleck and the whole production company was doing. The one company that was actually doing this really early, pre-Web3, and I always refer to them as Valve Software, one of my biggest inspirations. They were always community-driven. Like, I was that kid that was on Gary's Mod, putting objects in, playing with the physics engine on Source. And then that built a whole community of people who are making skins, making game assets where you put it online on Steam for others to download and play with and make their own content. And they had a Source Filmmaker to make videos out of. So that was very inspiring. That's when I noticed, like, it is all about community. That's like the new wave for brands. Like, this is why Valve has so much longevity. This is why Steam is unstoppable. That community has been around forever. Like, they are the greatest example if you want to get into Web3, because you can pull from what they've been doing for years and years before anyone else. So yeah, community and focusing on pushing the creators to work with your brand is very important, because now everybody feels like they're a part of the brand. Right, so it's no longer like this one brand that controls all. It has to be a community effort. And the thing is, like, this is how you know community is very powerful. If you remember when Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, they released that really shitty CGI, the studio quickly pulled it out of theaters and fixed it up. It's because they're borrowing from what the game studios have been doing, where the game is always going to be in beta. It's because they want the community feedback. So that way they release the patch notes and people get freaking excited. It doesn't matter how many bugs the game has, people will still love it because they feel like they're a part of the process. Everybody wants to be a creator too. Like, everybody is a creator.
That's a fact. No, that's a great point. It speaks to what we do here at CloneX LA, a sub-community coming together, people who have the same common interests. We want to formulate something and do something for even more communities to have a great time, something that's outside the realm that we know you guys can't necessarily do at all times because you're focusing on more high-level ideas and executions. We can do this. We can come together as a collective, put our energy together, execute and have venues like this and exhibitions like this so we can have experiences with you guys. Shout out to that scary-ass Sonic with the nasty teeth that they had to That was crazy as hell. But it's another great point, because think about how Kanye did his albums, his last couple of albums, The Life of Pablo. It never really stopped changing, right?
Yep.
Always in beta. And I feel like you said, it's the next stage, it's the next portion, that's what we're going to do. So.
Yeah, even I follow this movement where a bunch of Star Wars fans are trying to make different versions of Star Wars or keep to the original film. So they're going out sharing like specific DVDs that were released years ago, cutting clips out because that was the right one. And it was the community doing this to make sure the film, stays archived properly together. And I feel like that's one of the things that pushes the IP and brand, to longevity. Yeah.
No, for sure. Okay.
You get into a lot of little rabbit holes, Chris.
Oh man, that's my thing. I just go deep. I'm on artifact designing, and then I'll have a thought, be like, oh, what's that person like? Is he still working on that brand? And I'll just zoom right in.
No, for sure.
Yep. And then I'll even one of my good friends, Tommy, right there, who's actually heading the whole Animus project, dude with the Pets T-shirt. That's the guy I text and go down these deep rabbit holes with. I'm like, bro, okay. Did you follow up on this? I just realized this artist dropped a song in 2006. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I watched that in real time yesterday
he
over
did.
dinner. Bruh, talking about hip hop for hours, debating. No, you can't hit boy, no, all night. So no, it's great to have a community of people who have that level of understanding that you can share that energy with. It's unmatched. You might have family members that you've known your entire life that you can't connect with, like a random stranger on a Twitter group chat. Shout out to the Bad Take group chat. We see you out there too.
Bad take.
That's what's up. All right, cool. One more question before we go to the hands. I took it to the Twitter space. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs in this space?
My advice would be, and I know this is a very cliche answer, I'm just going to reword it in my own way, I guess, because it is very true. Look at mistakes as successes. Like, I made so many fucking mistakes, but they're all fun. Like, they're there for you to look back on and, you know, tell a story with, because it took me a long time to realize that my mistakes is actually what led me on this journey. So make as many mistakes as you can, because I feel like mistakes are more of the positive. Yeah.
I love that you said that. I had lunch today with a friend, and he's the head of Google X, which is their innovation lab, and almost half the conversation was about how organizations and all the way down to everyday people, designers, even to like 16-year-old kids that I get to talk to and advise, are all worried about making mistakes. Everyone wants to make sure everything is perfect these days. There's reputational risk if you go out and you don't have the, you know, if you're not saying the right thing. And everyone just doesn't want to like put themselves on the line, I guess. You know, they don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah, it's really simple. Us as a species and every animal out there wouldn't be what we are today without mistakes. Like, we wouldn't evolve without mistakes. So mistakes are the good thing. Like, keep making them.
Yeah.
But learn from them.
Yeah.
That's how you evolve. You got to learn, and then you progress. Yep.
Yeah, it's very true. You know, as artists, I don't think we're ever satisfied, right? Great art is, you know, great ideas and not enough time. So it's like you're never quite finished, and you just have to put things out because the process never ends. But if you end up never actually putting anything out, you know, and I see people I do that too in different lanes of my work where I'm like, it's not right, I'm not going to put it out, and years will go by. You have to try. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing for people to make fun of it and be okay with that. And just remember, you're not doing it for any extrinsic value. You're doing it because it means something to you, right? And so don't wait for the world to come along and validate you and give you a thumbs up. And for there to be some kind of point reward system for, you know, that you're on the right path. Like, if you feel like it's the right thing to do, you know, even if people are there to critique it, I would say to lean into that and commit to it.
No, that's great. That's excellent. And I have questions for you guys. With the projects that you've come out with, especially in the Web3 sector, how did you know it was ready to come out? Because like you just said, as an artist, it's never really perfect. It's never really complete. How did you know when you was like, you know what, this is it right here. We dropping the bombs right here.
For Atom Bomb Squad, we were definitely not ready. Nothing was ready at that time. Like, we started working on it at the beginning of February of 2021. And the space, you all remember, and it's still this way, but at that time, it was just so raw. And literally by the hour, the rules would change. You know, and everything that you were doing, that you were convinced about, you know, by the end of the day, you were like, no, this is wrong, and this is proven to not work. And so there really did come a moment where we just had to pull the trigger and say, we're going to just drop the bombs now. Because if we wait, we're going to wait like 6 years. It'll never be perfect or intact, which is true. You know, the space still hasn't settled. It's still quite gelatinous and still very much in transition and flux, which is what makes it beautiful. But I'm glad that we decided to commit at that time, because then we got to build along with our community and listen to what they had to say and start working alongside with them.
I have a funny story. This is a story that Jeff Staple actually spoke of before. So especially in the early Artifact days, we never consider ourselves ready, because ideas just keep on flowing in, and that's the beauty of the internet and Web3. You can execute on these ideas quickly, like as opposed to a traditional brand. Like you have to plan it all in advance, get that shit printed, T-shirts, blah 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 blah. Right? So Jeff Staple, the day of launch, last minute in the morning, I hit him up. And we're like, dude, we're gonna do a 1-of-1 special auction. Are you ready? And it blew his mind because he couldn't comprehend how that would happen. I'm like, bro, it's gonna work. This is gonna be dope. Community's gonna like it. We need a 1-of-1, man. And so he's like, okay, let's go. So we designed it, prepared it, and everything that same day before putting it on Super Rare for the auction. So again, the feeling of never being ready. You got to be vulnerable because that's where like the craziest ideas come. Never like, and then again, like what I said earlier, expect failures, expect mistakes, and this is how you evolve. Because all our projects, even some of the projects we went through a lot of chaos, like CloneX. Oh man, that project, a lot of so I looked at a picture of myself 2 to 3 years ago. I never had gray hairs before, like, and I do. Like, if I grow it out, you can see it a little bit. If we're talking in person. Same with like Zaptio and Benoit. Like we totally look different people from 2-3 years ago, but that's because of the chaos. We have order too, by the way, order and chaos. But it was all fun because like it keeps us on our toes, on our tracks, and trying to always evolve, even at last minute. Like, how do we evolve this to better it for the community? And we just look at everything as we're expecting there to be mistakes, so we can learn from it and fix it. Yep.
Oh, that's a fact. Well, if you don't have gray hairs yet, wait until you have kids and or a wife. Shout out to my wife out there. Thanks for the gray hairs, baby. I think I'm gonna open it up to the floor, see if we have anyone here who has any questions. Go ahead, my guy. You can't hit it? Oh, word. Get them together, Snap. That's right.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Brian. I wanted to ask a question because I just recently read the first 2 chapters of 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. And I kind of edited the question to be more related to Web3. So it's, what's an opinion about NFTs or Web3 that you have that most native Web3 users would disagree with?
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Brian.
I have way too many hot takes, and I'm not going to put myself out there. It's been annihilated.
Hey, we need the bad take. That's what we're here for.
Bad takes, lots of bad takes.
Story time.
I'm not going to say some of it right now because
Let it flow. It's story time.
But I think in order to save NFTs or to preserve them, we are going to actually have to change a lot of the core definition of what they're understood as today. That's all I'll say. And that's something that we're looking to execute over the next 6 to 8 months through Atom Bomb Squad, but looking to work with other projects in that sense. And I think that's okay. I think rewriting the rules and reshaping definitions are a very important part of evolution because the world, especially the world today, context is continuing to accelerate, constantly change, and we need to keep up with that. And maybe some of the things that we were looking for or idealizing 2 to 3 years ago are not as urgent as something else today, and this is not what I was talking about, but even in the context of AI, right? AI wasn't as involved in the tech conversation. It was in the background, but not on the mainstream front that it is in 2023. And so maybe we need to acknowledge that because every other industry is being forced to reckon with it. And so don't be married or so shackled to what the idea used to be. That's something we've had to understand in streetwear and fashion too. And it's very natural for you to respond and try to resist it. I remember when skateboarding kept changing, and there's a very notorious old beef I had with Pharrell when Pharrell came in. And there was it wasn't just me, but there was a lot of us in LA that were speaking out about that. But that was me being myopic and not appreciating the full context of what Pharrell did. And I was on a show yesterday with this show. It's called The Shop. It's like LeBron's talk show. Yeah. And Tiana Taylor was on the show with me. We were just talking about skateboarding. And she was like, I got in because of Pharrell, because she was on the ice cream team. Yeah. And two of the other guests were the same. They're like, I found out about skateboarding, like Mav Carter's, like I got into skating because of Pharrell. Yeah. And I was just like, that was my bad, you know? Because at that time I was just like, no, this is not what skateboarding was defined as. It's not supposed to be about celebrity. And what I didn't realize is he onboarded an entire generation of young people, especially people of color and brown, black people that didn't actually have access to that point. So it's just a very long-winded example of just saying, you know, you don't want to be married to how things used to be or what you remember them to be. You have to continue to evolve and adapt.
I have one thing, the answer for this. It's a lot of stuff doesn't have to be decentralized. Like I hate when people says, "Oh, decentralization, this." They want to be so counterculture, like, "Oh yeah, this. Everything is gonna be NFTs," and it doesn't have to be. You need a balance. So just keep the balance because you do want rules in place. Like you need, like again, order and chaos. So please keep it in balance.
The decentralization topic is always so fraught, and I think, you know, the idea of it, the romantic idea is really strong and robust, and we all want that. And I think it's actually achievable, but it requires intense organization, which most decentralized entities do not have. You guys are pretty well organized, though, I must say. The way that CloneX LA is operating.
We hold it down. Shout out to CloneX.
Very impressive.
No, for sure.
So, yeah, but that's always one that continues to come up, and everyone's like, well, you know, like, well, we kind of have to figure out a more efficient means of doing this.
No, for sure. And it's wild because, Tommy, we were just talking about Skateboard P last night. My man got up here. You know what I mean? So we're going to do it one more so we can keep the time flowing. Kind of shout out to my man.
How's it going? Thank you so much for your guys' time and speaking with us. Chris, you brought up the point about Valve, was it? And Steam and something like RuneScape. They're very community-driven and in a way have established the brand or businesses as immortal. So why do we need Web3? Or another perspective would be, what layers does Web3 add to something that already existed before?
Okay, so I love this question because I actually answered it many times. Using Valve as an example, huge Valve fan, but what made me excited about Web3? So Valve had everything going for them with the community, et cetera, but they are centralized. So this is where sometimes I feel like things should be decentralized. Crazy story, could get a little dark, but this is someone I kind of knew a long, long time ago. He was in the CSGO community because I used to design a lot of CSGO skins. And his name was McSkillet. And McSkillet, I remember this day very clearly because I was on Reddit. My phone started blowing up, and I've actually spoken to McSkillet like 3 weeks before. He was trying to interview me for his YouTube channel about CSGO skins. Then all of a sudden, when I was on Reddit, so many news articles started popping up everywhere. And this was during the day, if you guys don't know, Counter-Strike had a huge CSGO loot box gambling scene. It was a lot of drama. This is when people started realizing, oh, there's digital collectibles that people trade, make money on Steam, and then these kids can go and gamble on websites. Like they could play roulette and put their skins all in there. So McSkillet, he ran a site called CSGOKingdom.com. And when everybody was focused on targeting all these game studios with loot boxes, gambling, et cetera, Valve started, from what I remember, they started to shut down anybody, even Steam accounts connected with an API to their website that had gambling or loot boxes. McSkillet was one of them. He lost, I think, like $1 million or something in his Steam inventory, and then he went suicidal. But on top of that, he took his car, went down the freeway. I think it was in San Diego, and even killed a mother and daughter, like on their way to school. So imagine people with their wallets, their NFTs. There's a lot of people put a lot of effort into collecting these things, and then all of a sudden for it to be taken away from you is kind of pretty scary. So in my mind, I'm like, if Valve was decentralized with the way they operated, this wouldn't have never happened. Like, what if that mother and daughter's life was saved? Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, that's a extreme example, but tells the point.
No, yeah. Cool. Well, you gonna let him go? Let my man go. Shout out to the homie Q.
Yeah, so first I want to say, Bobby, it's a pleasure to see you and meet you. I worked at Lincoln Middle School, and a lot of the kids put me on your clothes early, and I had no idea about the brand, but they were so fervent about your brand back in 07, 08. I was like, what is this brand? So shout out to you for putting me on stuff, even through the kids. But along those lines, what do you think it's gonna take for gamers to have an aha moment? It's more so for Chris because he knows about gaming, but Bobby, if you want to chime in too, to get the aha moment when it comes to NFTs and video games, because I feel like it brings so much some opportunity for us to own it and for this to be more of a bi-directional relationship, whereas we're just consumers when it comes to Web 2 gaming, and I'm a huge gamer still, and I'm like, when are people gonna see
Yeah, this is an easy one. It's really simple. It's not gamers, sit tight. Everything is awesome with your culture. You don't have nothing to do. Just the Web3 game studios have to stop making shitty games. That's as simple as that. It's that easy.
Facts.
The whole Web3 thing is in their head. They got to do NFTs. Like, you got to put your focus into the game first and then do the NFT things later. That's why I feel like the new era of NFTs are going to be the AAA game studio NFT projects like Square Enix with what they're doing. I'm really excited for that because I want to see how they execute that. Yeah.
I'm not a part of the gamer community, but can someone just paint to me what the friction is? I mean, I kind of know, but
I think it's largely just mainstream concepts about like NFTs are a scam, you know what I mean? And then I think it's the way some of these companies have implement. I think Rainbow Six tried to implement some type of NFT thing, but you had to spend so many thousands of hours just to get a helmet. And so the value proposition I don't think is there in their head, but they'd still rather go pay money where they can't redeem that for anything. It's such a fascinating thing for me being in Web3 and then being a part of gaming. It's like,
Yeah, this is, again, I remember one of the talks, I kind of blamed it on press when NFTs and Web3 was hype. It's so many headlines, like this person made millions of dollars doing this. And it's like they forget that the majority of people they don't have those kind of funds to invest in or pay for like the collect Web3 NFT projects. But they just had so many headlines. I felt like if the headlines were positioned differently, we wouldn't be here because it was very confusing. I got excited coming into the Web3 NFT space because as a gamer, I connected it. I was like, this is like the better version of collecting skins. It's people can figure out interoperability. One item can live in many ecosystems, many metaverses, etc. But I'm telling you, I talked to a few gamers. They didn't even have a clue what an NFT really was. And I sat there. I was like, okay, it's a skin. But, imagine this, and it has utility for, like, da-da-da-da. It can be tied to physical. And they were like, oh, see, when I was watching the news, they didn't explain it like that. It's press. Like I love press. We need them, but sometimes those headlines they have to fix it up, or the stories. Like stop making it so money focused, money driven. Yeah.
appreciate that.
All right. Well, I'm trying to keep it as tight as we can. I know my man Bobby got to go ahead and do his thing. I do thank you again.
Yes, thank you all.
Taking the time. Yeah. No, for sure. We definitely appreciate you, and much gratitude from the CloneX LA community. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, this is really awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for doing this for the community.
It's Chris, everybody.
Yeah, and also.
And the thing is, like, I was always a huge Bobby fan. I told you this too, like, because I ran like a streetwear line a long ass time ago, back in like 2008. But his blog is where I went to a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Followed the whole Rosewood thing
Likewise.
and everything. Yup. Yeah. So big shouts to you, man.
Thank you.
opened the
Thank
doors
you.
for all of us.
For
Yep.
sure. And also shout out to the one and only Chris Lee, co-founder of
Thank you.
Artifact. We appreciate you taking the time as well. Other than that, I guess we good. Cut this bitch off. We out. Rugged. Next panel coming up quick, coming up soon. So I just wanted to give this, I guess it's like a 2-minute warning to get people back in. I know everybody's getting their tacos going and all of the above, but we're going to start up here again soon. streaming. We streaming now?
Make sure I get the names. Are we rolling? Oh, okay, cool. Let me get a whoop whoop. There we are. Let me get a meow. Let me get a CloneX LA. All right, I got a little bit of audience. Hi, ladies. We got some ladies in the house. It's so nice to see you. What's up, gentlemen? How you guys doing? Woo, woo, woo. We got some awesome guests. We're going to get it crack-a-lacking. Sir Snapback's giving us the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1. What's going on? This is your boy Ninja representing CloneX LA. We are here in Los Angeles with some really amazing people. First, I would have to give it up for the Bad Take founder. While we're all here in the first place, let's give it up for Compound.
How's it going? My name is Compound, founder of Bad Take. We're here in beautiful Los Angeles, California. I'm so excited to see you. Normally, I'm behind a phone screen, but we are live today, and this is my first time doing it live. So I'm so happy you all are here. Thank you.
All right, I have a little confession to make. I'm going to out Compound. He was like, this is my first time doing it. I don't know. I'm so nervous. I'm like, Compound, you're a natural. You got this, right? Let's give it up for Compound. Woo, woo, woo. Now I have some 2 very special guests here. Big time in the Web3, cryptocurrency, blockchain space. First of all, let's give it up for Indar at PixelLinks. Yeah. Come on, let's give it up for Indar. There we go. Thank you so much. And next, let's give it up for AC from Stapleverse. Woo, 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 woo. Come on down, folks. We're ready to have some fun. So first and foremost, we want to just do some housekeeping. We have a winner of a PixelLinks. What is it? Actually, can you tell us, Indar?
Yeah, PixelLinks is a company I founded with Deadmau5, who is iconic musician and producer, and Richie Horton, also another incredible musician. And it's a music gaming company. We're building a number of different music games that really giving artists a new canvas to bring their music to life. And in there is a combination of music, gaming, Web3, it's NFTs, but really in this new kind of platform that I think is going to push and elevate music to the next level. And we were acquired by Animoca Brands about a few months ago. So we're now, as well as building up an incredible music platform, the music arm of Animoca.
Super dope. Come on, who knows who Animoca is in the house? Anyone know Animoca? Oh, we're going to have to do that housekeeping. So you brought us, there's a token airdrop that we have, correct? Can you tell us about what it is, and then we're going to announce who's actually going to get it. Hopefully this person is watching us. But go ahead.
So we are actually going to be revealing a bunch of different airdrops and projects over the next few months for the clone community. But this first one, we had a project where we were asking fans to submit some of their best content, and we'll be revealing a number of different drops. But you guys can reveal who the winner is, and we'll touch more on what they're going to receive.
Okay, let's go. So the winner, let's get a drum roll, please. The winner of the PixelLinks token airdrop is none other than our very own president. Yeah, I know you don't know who president. President is let's give it up. President is a staple clone in our community. Absolutely well deserving. He is one of our friends, and he is I'm so excited that he won it. So, but what did he win? What did he win?
So you're going to get a number of different NFTs that we're dropping over the next few months. So we've made an exclusive one for the Clone community, but there will be a number of different NFTs over the next few months that will give you early access to some of our first products. So literally the best alpha that you could have in terms of as soon as we launch early projects, like I said, whitelist, a number of early access features and exclusive in real life events, whether that's like physical access to backstage events with deadmau5 and a number of other items. But we'll be revealing a lot more over the next few months. So just keep an eye out. If you're in the Clone community, we have creator challenges coming out and a bunch of stuff over the next few weeks and months that opportunities to win and grow your career and access new touch points to grow your clone and your presence.
Awesome. Well, that seems like a pretty dope thing to win. So, Mr. AC, can you please what's up, man? Please tell us, just for those who don't know, what is Stapleverse? Like, just give us a top level what it is.
Yeah, so Stapleverse is an NFT project founded by Jeff Staple and Benny, who's from Dapper Labs. We launched last year. It was kind of more of a storytelling NFT project. We sold feed NFTs, pretty much shit that you'll find in New York that pigeons will eat, like condom wrappers, kebabs, stuff like that. And we wanted to make like the NFT project kind of more interactive. So basically we had a period where we allowed people to toss their feed, pretty much burn it for a pigeon or you get shit on. So we kind of created like 3 different communities with our project and then kind of, became like their own factions and had their own personalities and people got attracted to each of the 3. But this spring, probably in the next month or 2, I can't be too specific, but we're launching our new kind of like phase 3 of our project called Sapiens, which kind of leans back on Jeff Staple, the streetwear pioneer, 25 years of Staple Pigeon last year. His like strengths, his connections with Web 2 brands, streetwear brands, and all the brands we loved growing up, and trying to bring them into the Web 3 space through kind of dynamic, fashionable PFPs where you can change outfits like we do every day.
That sounds dope.
I love that, man. So I have a question for you, AC. As a legacy Web 2 brand, what have you guys done to onboard people from Web 2 into Web 3 and build communities around your projects?
Yeah, so I think when Stapleverse first kind of got announced and got the buzz, back in 2022, it's, obviously there were Staple Pigeon fans who know Jeff from Staple Pigeon brand, streetwear fans, they know the Staple Pigeon dunk, but also, he'd done the Meta Pigeon with Artifact and, people hit crazy success with that and they're like, Jeff, I'll follow you to whatever. So they came into our Stapleverse community through that. So it's kind of like an interesting mix of different people from both spaces. But yeah, we're definitely focusing on trying to manage the community that comes in and kind of trying to cater it more towards the creatives. We have found a lot of people in our community, creating fan art or like actually creating physical products with like our IP and our logos and stuff. So our next phase is going to be focused on those guys and kind of enabling them and bringing them into like the co-creation space with us.
Community empowerment is so important. We do it in Artifact a lot. We, as the community, love to build around the IP as well. What platforms do you guys use to mainly maintain your community and build around it? Twitter, Discord?
Yeah, Discord's got its like pros and cons for sure. And, I'm sure your guys' Discord has like 30 projects on the side and you're like, what's going on with this? What's going on with this project? But yeah, definitely Discord, Twitter. And then, we have like the microphone of Jeff. Also, posting on IG and Twitter about Stapleverse and stuff to kind of bring in a lot of his like Web 2 sneakerhead fans into the space and be like, hey, what's this that he's always talking about? Or like, eventually, once we launch Sapiens, it'll be a lot of opportunities to get products or collaborations or be a part of Jeff's process will only be through the Sapiens like NFT project. So hopefully that'll bring like the kind of Web 2ers into Web 3.
Is there anything more you can give us alpha-wise on Sapiens? Is it a PFP project? What more can you tell us that we can use?
So I think publicly we've said it's coming spring.
Yeah.
I'd say probably in like a month or 2 tops is probably when it's going to be coming. But yeah, it's a PFP project. We're working with this artist, Rhymes Like Dimes from Belgium. He's done really dope stuff, especially, he kind of has like similar interests like Jeff. Like he loves hip hop. I think he's been commissioned for like Playboy Cardi music videos. He's done like Mac Miller prints and artworks, and he's dropped a few NFTs in that space too. So he's going to be the artwork for Sapiens. So So yeah, it's going to be characters, and our like tech team, Future Primitive, has been working on a lot of cool stuff to pretty much equip and be able to change outfits gas-free, showable on OpenSea and on our website and stuff, and some new tech that they're exploring. One thing is called token-bound accounts, which is like a whole new thing that they're like trying to get past through the Ethereum community. But that'll pretty much make your Sapiens like its own wallet. So like, you can put NFTs into your Sapiens.
Is that new tech?
Yeah.
So you're bringing new tech to Web3.
Yeah.
How important is it to bring this new tech to Web3, or like just explain kind of your process or your thinking behind that?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much Stapleverse is under Zealot, which is Jeff Staple, and we partner with Future Primitive, who's also in Zealot. But those guys, it's like, we have Benny, who's like one of our co-founders, and he's from Dapper, and him and the dev team are always like staying up on like new tech, like not even just NFT tech, but just stuff in Web3 and crypto in general. They're like, oh, it'd be so cool to like implement this and this. Some of the stuff sounds like way too crazy, and I'm like, yo, like, like let's just keep it simple. But yeah, they're always innovating and sharing like new stuff in our Slack. So we always have group discussions like, does this make sense for Sapiens? Is this like an interesting thing? And will it get picked up by the wider community?
Love it. So speaking of partnerships, you have a really iconic partnership with Deadmau5. Can you tell me about how that came about and what is like, working in the Web3 space with such an iconic DJ such as Deadmau5?
Yeah, for sure. So we came together, it was about 2 years ago. I was thinking a lot about music and the evolution of what the music experience would look like. And, it's like gaming is going to be such a key part of it, but Web3 also offers like this new canvas in many ways, not just for artists to kind of bring their music to life, but also to have a new relationship with fans. So I took this to Joel, to Deadmau5, and he was already thinking about it. Many people don't know Deadmau5 is also a programmer, and before he was making music, he was like making software. He was making audio software, and he's been using the Unreal Engine for about 5 years in his live shows, like real time, rendering, the crazy stuff. So he's like this visionary performer and technologist. So when we were talking about what the future of music could look like in this space, it was like, yeah, this is so obvious that we should be working together. So yeah, we've been working together for about 2 years, and it's funny, he built the first prototype of our product. He built it in Unreal. It was an early stage of the game, and yeah, we basically just went from there and continued evolving our process. We were really early in terms of selling NFTs as artists. Joel, with Deadmau5, we've sold in total over 150,000 NFTs. So, we're talking about Web 2 into Web 3 and how do you bring mainstream fans in. We took a slightly different approach, and there's a lot of learnings in that, right, in that process as well, because it was like, right, we're selling lower value items to fans to like bring them in and show them what the potential of their space is. And we learned so much in that process around like, how do you educate fans? What kind of experience are they really looking for? I'm pretty sure still like 150,000 NFTs is the highest number. Like it's way above the total amount of NFTs sold by any other artist. But in there was, like I said, a lot of learnings, and like this isn't just about selling things, right? It's like this is about creating value and changing the relationship between the artist and the fan. So some of the things that we did that we thought were really fun is, for example, we launched a music video for Deadmau5 that was 100% made by fans. Wow. 6,500 fans took part in it. It was made in the Unreal Engine. It looks great. It looks like it cost a couple $100,000, and it has 1.5 million views on YouTube. And so we see this new relationship forming where like the fans and the creators are ultimately going to help build so much incredible value for the artist. And what we're trying to do is use Web3 gaming to kind of bridge the gap. So we've got a fun project that's coming out with Spinning Records. It's a major label it's owned by Warner Records, and they have a single called Nikes, so Nikes. And the vocal goes, walking down the street with my Nikes on, and we're about to cast as many clones that want to feature in this video as possible.
Alpha.
And yeah, we'll be doing a bunch of really cool stuff. I think it's a really amazing like cultural artifact. That song that will come out is, like I said, it's going to be released on a major label. It's going to have as many clones that want to be in it, and we're going to give them, the ability to have ownership on this. Plus, there'll be a ton of bounties and creator challenges. So if you want to help make the video, there's money there for you to join as a creator too.
Okay, so Like Compound said, that is the alpha. We literally are streaming live streaming to Twitter, so that hopefully there's a bunch of clones watching. Where would they go to get cast into this iconic video and to also win things too?
Yeah, there's a lot there. So I would just say first follow me on Twitter, and then just follow every little.
Who are you on Twitter?
I'm Inderphul, INDERPHULL. I'm right there. I'm sure that you guys will post a tweet on this as well.
We
so
got you.
Follow CloneXLA. Like we'll be doing so much with you guys. Like any creator challenge that we launch will be coming first through CloneXLA. So let's go.
Let's go. So I know you have the this night album coming, but you also have an app that you've released, or is it about to be released? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a mobile game which we raised investment from Niantic, so the makers of Pokemon Go. And you could think about it like a music Pokemon Go. The idea is you explore the world and you can discover exclusive music NFTs from a number of different artists. We've got Vega Jr. in there, who's of course the number one rapper in the world in the metaverse. Of course, one iconic clone, and yeah, a number of other musicians, we've got a number of other musicians in the space as well that we're working with. So basically, like Pokemon Go, you can explore the world and unlock a number of really cool NFTs from some incredible artists.
Just out of curiosity, real quick, what is the how many active users do you have on your app?
So we're in early stage testing, so we're around early thousands right now. Wow. So if you're in now, you're basically going to be accumulating, some of the, earliest points in terms of, potential of where this is going. So we're going live with the open beta in May. So between now and then, there's, quite a lot of items to collect.
That's impressive. It's really impressive.
AC, speaking of alpha, can we get everybody in here whitelist to Sapiens, or is that asking too much?
Whitelist for all, AC.
Listening.
Let me text Jeff after this, but we might be able to do something, because I know there's a lot of like creatives and like people who like have self-initiative. Like even CloneXLA, like you guys ran this on your own, so it's like it's definitely the type of people we want. A lot of clones are familiar with Jeff and his work, and yeah, let me get approval from Jeff after, but we might be able to do something on Twitter after. So yeah.
We got the list.
All right, if you got the list, that's all the work.
I got a question for you. So how do you guys manage and keep up with the speed of this space? The space moves so fast, and when you guys are in your team meetings, how do you guys plan month to month to keep up with this kind of stuff? Because it seems to be overwhelming for me. So as a team or as a founder, I imagine it can be pretty difficult as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think like just even the recent royalties are gone. It's like, oh shit, Yeah. And luckily with Sapiens, we were kind of exploring alternate like revenue streams outside of just relying on like secondary sale royalties. So we're like kind of okay on that. But yeah, things change so much, and I think like we kind of rely on our team to share like the latest happenings. Like, oh my God, this happened with this project, or this new protocol happened, and stuff like that. And then we definitely have like we have like daily stand-ups like any other team, but we also have like an all vision and like full team call, like where all the devs and the marketing and us come on, and then we just kind of talk about these things. Or if it's a major thing like royalties are gone, we have like we just throw in a meeting, and it's like, hey, let's talk about this and figure out if we got to pivot or how this might affect us. So, but yeah, it's a lot, man. I feel we aging way too quick. Being on Twitter and Discord all day, keeping up with all this.
It's important to be able to adapt quickly. I'm adapting quickly, you're adapting quickly, and I know you guys are on calls daily adapting. Inder, do you have anything on this?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's true. Obviously, on the Web3 element, things are just changing so quickly, so you have to really be adaptive. But I think one thing is obviously the North Star can't change. I think that's really the most important piece. It's like we're being tactical a lot of the time and adjusting how we think we're going to bring stuff to the market. But I think it's important in that not to kind of get confused around where the North Star of the project is. But it's so tough. Like being an entrepreneur at this time is one of the most complicated and exciting experiences, because you can get used to running a business in the old way. And I think about anything, and ultimately it's a business, right? And it's just a very different space, and no one has the playbook. Like you have to be vulnerable, you have to be open to trying things and just like figuring out what works for you. Because like we said, the playbook 6 months ago was, this is the model, it's going to work like this. And it's like not anymore. So I think it's just being open, and like you have to be open to having discussions and learning and like I said, being vulnerable to failing.
So I saw AC on your website when I was looking that mentorship, education is a really strong component of what you have. And I love that it seems like you're really trying to build a community from a holistic. Can you tell us more about that, especially why education is so important and building community and mentorship, what that means?
Yeah. So, I mean, with Sapiens, I think we kind of, went back to Jeff and it was like, what are the core like values of your old brand Staple Pigeon or like, what you've always been into. And, I don't know if you guys have followed Business of Hype with Hypebeast, but it was a really long-standing podcast that Jeff had, interviewing like creators like Nike creators, independent artists, like people just doing really cool stuff in different industries. And, like I used to listen to that like past few years and, it'd be on artists or people in industries I had no interest in, but the stories were just so cool. And, Jeff was like, shoot, I want to bring Business of Hype back. But then we're like, how do we make it Web3? So we're like, all right, with Sapiens, let's focus on, education, like getting the stories and teaching like people who want to get into Web3 or become a creator or I want to be a designer or I want to, streetwear brand, like teaching them the process and telling stories of how they do that. And then mentorship directly through Jeff and like with the other partnerships with brands or creators that we're going to do. And then ultimately, since, Jeff's history is in physical goods and streetwear, like doing community co-design and then, hopefully bringing those to production and getting it out to the community. Like one really cool thing Staple Pigeon and Jeff have done every year is they do like Make a Staple Pigeon Day. And it's like a contest just on IG for any creator. Like, hey, design a t-shirt using our IP and the best one we're going to make. And then, we'll give you a cut. And, it's like a full production Staple Pigeon shirt. So we're like, yo, we need to bring this to Sapiens. Like, collab with the community. Like, hopefully the talent comes up and then we can spot them and then we can work with them and then make physical products and digital products.
One of the things about a lot of communities I'm in is Web3 communities want to feel special. Like, do you guys, as your Web3 communities, tie in holders with like special access to physical items of the streetwear? Do the holders get any exclusive access or exclusive items?
Yeah, we try to. I mean, Staple Pigeon is kind of a standalone company, so we have calls with them a lot, and with like really hyped up drops like the Crocs, Staple Crocs that we've done. We were able to get like a special allocation and then like hook up our community with it. We try to do giveaways. Like we got a ton of stuff here for you guys later, but yeah, we always try to get inventory, but it's kind of tough because we're not like an e-commerce company for Staple Pigeon. But especially with like our bigger holders and stuff, we try to reach out and it's like, hey, if there's something you guys want that's coming out, shoot us a heads up and we'll try to hold it for you so that you guys can get early access. But yeah, since it's Staple Pigeon's like a standalone company, it's been a little hard. But with Sapien stuff, it'll definitely be for community.
I love that.
Wow, so it sounds like we got some goodies to give away a little bit later.
I think we got a whole box back there.
Okay,
all sorts of good stuff.
Indar, so we know that education and he was just speaking about community. What are ways that what would be advice or ways that you suggest for like a new creator to get involved in your ecosystem, or what's most important to you and getting your creators involved?
I mean, education's interesting. Like, I guess, we think about creators in such a broad sense. Like, everyone is a creator in the grand scheme of things. So, the way we like to think about it is we want to put creators around artists and help those musicians get their visions, bring their visions to life. So our product is largely around, there's a musician like Deadmau5, he's going to release a music video. If you want to help that music video come to life, we have the tools in place for you to come and help Deadmau5 bring that vision to life and then participate in that experience. So it's really, in a sense, it's quite open because many people have participated in these creator challenges who aren't even creators. They just want to be part of the experience, and all of a sudden they're learning Unreal, and now they've made a scene in Deadmau5's video. So I think the opportunity for anyone to be a creator is kind of here. But if you want to do cool stuff like that, and you want to basically show off your talent and hopefully make a career out of it, or just find a hobby in the craft of creating, we have a community that's really supportive on that, and we're building a lot of tools for that purpose. So come and help us shape it. I think a lot of that is still open to co-design.
Love it.
So, have you guys had any hurdles bringing traditional Web 2 artists into Web 3 and educating them? And have you had any troubles doing that, or are you guys focused mainly on Web 3 artists?
Yeah, I think it's the process has taken time because we've been in the space for a while, and obviously the music industry is a very old, outdated industry as well. So even though artists might want to be in the space, their deals hold them back. Like if you're signed to a major label deal, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to do much in Web3. So we have this incredible opportunity to give artists this true freedom of ownership and independence and so on. But the industry doesn't necessarily allow for that right now. So there's an educational challenge, but artists are smart, right? The industry is old. That's the challenge.
Okay, I have a personal question for both of you. Why Web3? Like, of all things, like, this shit is hard. Like, it is not easy. Like, you said it yourself, being a founder and an entrepreneur, it's not easy. Like, what is it about Web3, cryptocurrency, blockchain? 2 questions. Why did you get into this, and what keeps you going?
Yeah, it's a good question. I first got interested in Web3 when I was about 25 years old, which was maybe 7 years ago. I was interested in how it was going to transform the way the music industry would work. The music industry is such a old, fragmented world where it could just be automated. Half of the things the music industry does has loads of middlemen that don't actually do that much, right, to add value. I've said that on record, which is dangerous. But no, generally speaking, I think a lot of it could be automated. And so I was interested in it from then. And the reason why I still am is because I think it's going to completely transform the creative landscape and give artists the ability to, really make a living from their craft.
What about you, AC?
Shoot, I mean,
tell us your story. Tell us your story, AC.
I think your answer was interesting because prior to getting into Web3 with Stapleverse, I worked at Warner Records for 10 years, and I think 2017 was that the last hype cycle.
Yep.
I did this whole PowerPoint presentation for our head of digital because I was in digital marketing. I'm like, yo, we got to get into blockchain. CryptoKitties was kind of popping. Me and my friends were kind of breeding the cats during work hours and stuff, but yeah, no one was listening to it. And I was like, man, I grew up and wanted to work in music, and then I was kind of getting over it. And I was like, man, I want to do something in crypto. And, back then, NFTs wasn't around, but kind of how my career progressed, I was kind of looking for something new and was working with Jeff. And then, they were starting the early talks about Stapleverse. So I was like, dude, this is awesome. So it came in. And I think one thing is we all love sneakers and clothes, but my office, my friend scene, it's like a warehouse, right? It's just boxes of sneakers. I don't know where anything is. Same with art. I don't have enough wall space. I'm not balling or nothing. So it's with NFTs, it's still a cool way to collect things and be able to show oh, I'm into this or this, because it's really whatever NFTs you hold shows your interest in what kind of person you are. So it definitely makes sense.
Do you have a place where you display your NFTs?
What you mean?
A digital place where you display them yet? Like an on-cyber or anything?
No, not really. Right now, I'm still hoarding them. I mean, my sneakers and stuff, I just kind of hoard them right now too. But yeah,
we got to get them an on-cyber loot pod.
We need to get you an on-cyber artifact loot pod. You got to get on it.
I do have one. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the clones. But yeah, I mean, I think the creative stuff the clone community's been doing is awesome. And yeah, when I get a free weekend, I definitely got to dive into it and kind of see what's already out there, because yeah, it's in my wallet and it's just sitting there. So you guys might have to school me.
I actually have a question from one of our community members, Rose Jade. Shout out Rose Jade.
Rose Jade?
Bad Take community member. You spoke about marketing just now. So her question is, how do you measure the impact and success of marketing efforts in Web3, and how do they differ in Web2? What are the KPIs, I guess, for your marketing campaigns? How do you measure successful marketing campaigns and unsuccessful ones?
Yeah, I mean, with Web2, with a physical company like a streetwear company, it's just literal sales, right? Just build up the hype and then get the initial sales and it's done. Yeah. I mean, I think with Web3, it's a lot more congestion and traffic, right? Every project's doing something cool. So, it's getting the messaging out, and then once it drops, it's you're still responsible to the community, and if they're unhappy with it or they got their complaints, they're gonna stay vocal about it. So it's you got to deliver, and then it's the product isn't done once you market it and release it, and then it's go take your sneaker, you're good. It's like, you drop it and then people are like, what's next? Or what what do we do now? So it's like, it's definitely like a longer process.
How do you handle that? Like, how do you handle the when, give us, pump our bags, give us free stuff right now?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
I got to do some yoga or like a headspace or something. But yeah, I mean, I think with Sapiens especially, we started leaking it like late last year. And, with like art QA and making sure like the outfits are interchangeable and stuff, it's been a lot of like delays just like on multiple fronts. And I think people, in Web3 want it like now, right? It's like, hey, I got a suggestion, implement it tomorrow. It's like, whoa, like you give it a little time. So, yeah, I don't know. If any other founders or people in the Web3 have ideas to keep your sanity, like, let me know. It's a constant struggle, man.
The constant struggle in Web3, expectation management. Managing expectations, as what I've seen in communities, is the hardest thing to do, honestly. Inder, how about you? When you guys tackle marketing in Web3, how do you guys tackle it differently than maybe in a Web2?
Ooh, yeah, it's a good question. I think still learning on many aspects, right? And that's an ongoing process. I don't know. It's interesting. Like I think long term on-chain data is going to become like the key. I think that will people will use. So that's a big part of it. I think. We're seeing a lot of stuff around like point systems starting to emerge. So I don't know if you've seen like a brand called Broadside. It's an amazing project if you haven't. It's still very early, but they're doing some very cool stuff. And they've built like a point system so you can check into their platform every day. You earn points for sharing stuff on social media. Anything you do in their world is now being measured with this points, which may turn into a token at some point. But so they're using a lot of things like that on chain and tracking this basically movement between traditional social media and some of these other platforms, and basically measuring a user. So it's kind of like traditional marketing, but with some on-chain elements. I think we'll see more of that, but right now, again, it's still early space, right? Most people are measuring it based on things like, floor price and transaction volume, and then sentiment. So just like hundreds of metrics. I think most of the time it's probably the most important is just sentiment from community, right? And then you kind of build your way from there and look at the numbers.
Both amazing answers. Both very different and amazing answers. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon here shortly. My question for both of you is, what is on the website, let me get it right. I was looking, and it's also on the Twitter for Stableverse. It's what the future of street culture through Web3. Cast a vision. What is the future of street? How does Stableverse see the future of streetwear in Web3?
I mean, I think obviously, whether it's our social medias like Instagram or Twitter, our PFPs represent us, right? Like the clone you have as your PFP, this is me, right? So I think with the interchangeable outfits that we're going to start releasing and have community co-design, our goal is for people to really show their interests, like both, fashion-wise, as well as like each of the outfits will represent a collaboration, whether it's like headphones, and that'll come with content and education in the music space if you want to be an artist or something, or like a graphic designer might have a pencil or something. So we're hoping people will adopt Sapiens and kind of like choose and pick up the traits and get the education content and then display that as their like online identity in streetwear. Yeah.
Dope. What about you, Indar?
I think the future of music is going to be more interactive. A big part of it is going to be people experiencing music, beyond just, Spotify and artists being able to create like interactive experiences around that, and then fans owning, a part of the creative process. We think that's a big part of the future.
Love it, love it. Okay, one last thing. I always like to give people just kind of a free reign, just because we were asking all those questions. Is there anything, Inder, that you want to add, that you want to tell our Twitter audience, that you want to tell, hey, everybody, we have an announcement coming soon, that you just kind of want to tell people as far as anything, your journey, advice, something coming up next? The floor is yours, brother.
I mean, there's so much. Like, if we've got an incredible community. If you love the intersection of music, gaming, fashion, and want to kind of explore bringing new ideas to life, I think we've got some fun stuff happening in Elixir, and the game goes live in 2 months. So, getting in at this point is a good time to come in and help shape it.
Love it, love it. And you, AC?
Yeah, I'd probably just say keep an eye out on Sapiens. I mean, I think there's so many NFT projects out there. It's like hard to keep track. It's like, oh, this whitelist, I got. So totally understand, but keep an eye out on it. We'll definitely try to take care of everyone here. It's going to be a free mint for Sapiens, which is always nice because we want to encourage like the right type of people to come in. But I think it's definitely going to be doing a lot of interesting things as far as like changing how PFPs work, as well as like a lot of cool collaboration and educational content.
Love it, love it. Is it cool if we do our giveaway now?
Yeah, let's do it.
You got it nearby? Oh, woo, woo.
I think we got this.
If you hear my voice, let me get a woo woo. Oh yeah, we're rocking. Hey, everybody in the back, we're gonna do a giveaway. You don't want to miss it. Free Stapleverse stuff. I see you. All right. So, Compound, I'm gonna let you do the honors so you can pull my number. All right. What do we got here? So first of all, what do we got here? Tell us what we got, AC. I see money bags.
Yeah. So this was like one of our first like promo hoodies we created. Pre-reveal, we did a money bag, and it was kind of wiggling around before you find out what kind of feed you get. So Jeff Staple designed this, and it was kind of more of a promo item at like events like ComplexCon and stuff. So we had a few left, so we definitely brought it out here.
It's dope. Let me feel it. Oh, that's nice too. Okay. All right, Compound, pull out my number. Pull out your tickets. What do we got?
936244.
936244. Pull out your tickets in the back. Dre Millie, check your numbers. One more time.
936244.
936244. Going once. Going twice. I see you, Alone Architect. What's up, King?
You all look so beautiful out there. Oh my God.
Hey, one more time in the back. Y'all gonna miss your ticket. 936244. Going once, going twice. It's out. Go ahead.
Number 2, 936279.
Yeah. One more time for us, Compound.
936279.
All right. I guess no one wants to win stuff today. Dre Millie, check your numbers. Get your people back there. All right. What else we got? How much stuff you got?
I think we got like 4 hoodies, like 5 shirts, and like 3 toys. Yeah.
We'll run through as much.
Yeah, you guys can spread.
936320.
936320.
320.
All right. We already threw one away, Dre. Let them know. They losing. You better check your numbers, Dre Millie.
They can cut cameras probably, huh?
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Sir Snapback, we're going to keep rolling or are we going to cut? Okay. We'll do a couple more. Let's do a couple more giveaways. What's up? Shout out to everyone, CloneX LA, everyone watching on Twitter. We appreciate you being here. We're here with Indar from Pixel Links. We also have AC from Stapleverse, and we're doing a giveaway for this Stapleverse money bag hoodie, looking fresh as fuck, if I could say so myself. And okay. Listen, we're going to have to start giving away to the Twitter audience.
We're going to close our eyes and point at somebody.
I know, just call out this number.
936283.
936283. Somebody, we're going to give away something, and then we're going to end the stream. Somebody got to win something. Okay, one more.
We're going to try. 936317.
936317. Where you at? Come on, somebody win this thing.
Nobody won. Let's go.
If we pull the next number, then I'm gonna nominate Compound to win it. All right, we're gonna try one more time. All right.
936342.
936342. 936342. 936, nobody wants it. Have you been checking your numbers, Dre? Let's not find out you won. Just give it away. All right, the first person to come up here gets the Stapleverse thing. Come on, it's right there. Hey, my man! There we go. Let's give it a, hold on. What's your name? What's your name, King?
Go Skater, go Skater, go
Give
Skater.
yourself a quick plug.
Thank you.
What you doing?
Go Skater, NFTs, Bomberheads all day. Let's go, CloneX all day, baby.
Hey, thank you, King. Come up and claim it. I see you with your vest on. All right. Should we give away one more thing? All right, we're ending it. We'll end it. Okay. So, one more time. This is the CloneX LA official Bad Take Space.
Let's go.
Featuring the legend Compound.
Thank you all.
Indar from Pixelinks. Let's give a round of applause for Indar for coming out, taking his time.
Let's go.
And AC from Stapleverse. I'm your man Ninja. Oh yeah, I gotta get out. I'm your man Ninja. We got some more coming to you. Stay in here and more giveaways. And one more shout out to Dre Millie for organizing this and our community manager Kaz. Woo woo woo. We are out.